All right. So let's go ahead and get started again here. I was told that my volume was a little low last time, so I'm going to try to speak in my medium outside voice and see if that helps at all. So the last time that we were streaming, I went ahead and worked on my Gatsby site at langsdorff.com, and I was converting that from version 1 to Gatsby v2, which is, unless something surprising happens, we're going stable this week. So look for a big announcement from Gatsby on v2 this week. So let me post a quick announcement that we're live. Hello, Twitter. Let's see here. Let's see, we're live. Come work on. That's just, we're live. I'm copping out. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to go live here. We've got a post up and going. Let's see here. All right. So post is going. We are streaming. Let me switch over to my browser and let's take a crack at this. So what we got going right now is we are on my V1 to V2 branch. Looking at what we did last time, we've got we moved all the content into a single directory. So if we look here, here, we instead of having offers, pages, posts, all in extra separate directories at the top level, we moved it all into content, and that let me simplify my config here down to, instead of multiple file system plugins, we've just got a single one now that goes us to our content. And inside of the pages, we were able to simplify down to where we're just requiring by files and getting into the markdown remark. Same with the Gatsby node. We simplified this a lot, and I'm super happy about it. So this is the GraphQL call that loads up all my pages, and then inside of the pages, we load everything out of the pages directory. So everything that is in here gets loaded up. And then we grab out the front matter. And what does that give us? That gives us the ability to check. So we go through the pages, we filter them out, make sure that it doesn't have the generate flag set to false, because there are a couple pages, like my home page, that we do not want to generate programmatically. We've got custom pages for those. And then for each page, we just create a page for that. That uses our page.js template, which we then go in here, do the same thing. We use the slug. The slug is set here in the page context. Jump into the page. We use that slug to find the page, pull out the HTML, which is the actual content, and then some front matter, the title, some information about the opt-in, and content digest to use as a key, and then we display that on the page. So we put in the title, we put in the content itself as dangerously set in our HTML, and if there's an opt-in, we include an opt-in at the bottom. So all of that being said, what we want to do today is we want to get the blog working. So on my current website, I have the ability to look at the blog. So we generate pages that list blog posts kind of in reverse chronological order. There's also pagination, so I can jump around, get multiple pages going here. And then I have the ability to look at categories. So we have category URLs that get generated, and those kind of list everything that's under that. And we have the ability to do tags. And both tags and categories also support pagination, assuming there's enough stuff to merit pagination. So in my happiness category, I've got enough posts to merit multiple pages. So That being said, let's dive in and actually start writing some code. So what we want to do to make this work is we've got in Gatsby node a bunch of old stuff that I was doing. So let's take a look at what it was. We were pulling in all the posts, and with the posts, we were grabbing title, front matter, stuff like that. And then we jumped in. So let's see, this doesn't need to exist anymore because we did it. Pagination, however, we do need. So let's uncomment this so I can actually see it. And we've got, let me see, how do I get the, hey, audio levels are much better. That's great. So I'm going to pop my chat out so I can actually see it this time, because last time I couldn't see what the hell was going on. And I kept missing messages until like way later. Okay, so focusing up here. I want to do pagination. I want to get posts. So let's start by getting the dev server running. And we'll just do, let's see, yarn develop. Hopefully this works first try. All right, and I should have a cache, so hopefully this happens nice and fast. We do. There we go. Things are happening. Let's see. All right, so let's go into graphical, and that came up on this side, so we'll drop it over here. That's the wrong thing. Help me out here. All right. So we've got graphical, and I'll make this a little bigger so we can actually see it. What I want to do is I want to get the posts. So I'm going to take all of this out, and we're just going to do a look for our posts. And I'm going to prefix it because we've already got the pages. And what we want to do is taking a look at our query for pages, we can copy that more or less. So I'm going to pull this almost as is, right? And we can drop that in, get rid of that prefix. We'll prettify so it's easier to see. And we're going to do posts. And what that should give me, we're not going to use that, but we can do, how about the front matter and maybe the title, all right? So we'll run that, and that did not give me what I wanted. So what am I missing? Let's take a look. Got my posts. So all file, relative directory, posts. Am I doing something silly? Let's find out. Do pages come up? Okay, so pages work. I don't have any. I wonder if this is because I've got, so in the pages directory, these pages are at the top level. At the posts, they're not. They're nested. So instead, let's see if I can do a glob. So we're going to do all file, filter, and then in the relative path, I can do a glob. That's good. So let's do, or I guess let's see if a glob works. We'll do posts, and I'm going to do anything in there that ends in MD, and let's see what happens. I get nothing. So let's make this as small as possible. What about this? What if we go anything? Nothing? All right, let's try a red. What am I'm doing something silly. Anything that ends in. That really should work, but rather than wasting time on, it's because I'm doing relative directory, and instead of relative directory, I should be filtering by, let's see here. I should be filtering by relative path. Let's try it. Nope. So let's see what comes out when I just grab that. We get relative path is, where are my posts? posts. Okay, so the filter that I want to do is, let's do a filter. We're going to do relative path. I'm going to use a glob, and I want that glob to be posts, anything, and then .md. Did that work? It did work. Hooray. Okay, so now what we've got is the ability to load in our posts. So let's take a look at how pagination originally worked, because this is kind of a big workaround. Or not even a big workaround, it's just a lot of work, right? So what we're doing is we've got this helper function called getUnique. GetUnique looks for anything in the front matter and then pulls down those values to figure out. So like basically what we're looking for are unique tags or unique categories, right? Then we've got this this function, group posts by unique, and group posts by unique is going to take a field that we want to group by, and then it's going to take the array of posts, and it should take that and reduce it down into lists, like groups, by the thing that we're grouping by. So if we're grouping it by the tag, it should give us back all of the individual tags, and then those tags will be keys, and the value will be the posts that have that that'll have that thing, right? So if we say we're going to group by category, it's going to go into the category and it's going to get all of the unique categories. Then it goes through each unique category and creates this this value, this object that has the category name and then posts that have a category including this, right? So then we come down here, and the actual pagination function is a nice big one. So this one takes the path template, the create page function, which we're just passing down for convenience, the component, which, what does that do? Let's find out. The component is passed into create page. What's different from the template path? Or the path template. I understand. Okay, so the path template is actually like the let's take a look at it here. So this is the path template. Where do I actually call this? Let's look, because I want to make sure that I'm making sense. So the path template is like what we want things to be. So blog /category name and then the page number. And we're using this this Lodash function called template to make things easy. And then we're pulling in the config because the config that we want to use has, like, for a slug of, so if I look at this particular thing, the category name is building happiness, but I've got a category slug of happiness. And so in order to map those, I have to put in some config. And that config lives right now in the config folder. This is not where it should be. So I'm actually going to move it and put it into gatsby-config so that we don't have to deal with that, because it's silly that we have to do that. So let's go back over here, get a sense of everything that we're doing, and then we can dig into this a little more. So grouping posts by unique, then we paginate. So paginating, we get a path template, which again is like the format we want to follow, /blog/ whatever. The component is the this template, so the blog post or the blog or whatever. The type is, I believe, just the actual type of the post. I don't know if we use that somewhere. Let's see. It's going to be in the blog post. Do we use? I don't know. It doesn't look like we actually use that. So let's see if it even becomes necessary. So what we're trying to do here is, yeah, we're mapping over all the posts, and let's just read the docs that I wrote for myself because I clearly don't remember how this works. We map over all the posts, and we get to a post that starts a page. Slice the appropriate number of posts. That's the number of posts per page. So in this case, like 10 or whatever. So yeah, we've got the post per page there, and then we kind of create groups of those. So we're dropping those posts into a group. Once we have the group, we make sure that they're actually a thing, which there's even a hack there that we can look at, or not even a hack, just a convenience method. And then for each of those, we check if it's the first page or if it's the current page, figure out how many pages there are, get the path for the template, and then we create a page using all of that data. So these are the actual paginated pages, like the lists like this. The blog posts themselves are a little simpler because what we're doing here is down a little bit lower in these pieces that I commented out. We've got the blog posts themselves. So the blog posts themselves, we're just going to create as usual. So maybe we can start there just to make life a little bit easier and kind of get to the point where it's a little clearer what's happening, because I feel like the pagination is complicated, right? Like you're doing a lot of things, and this is something that we want to make easier in Gatsby, but we don't have a good, or we don't have like a package solution for it yet. So we're going to kind of do this the hard way right now, and come back and try to find a way to make this more generic as we go on. So let's do that. Let's get in here, figure out what we need to create our post. So for the post, what we want to create is, let's see here. We need the slug. We need the image, or all of the images, because we're pulling out the first one for search engine optimization, I believe. And then we pull out which offer we're using, or have a fallback to the default offer, because every post has an opt-in at the bottom. So this is kind of generated automatically, and there are a few different options there. And then once we have that info, we create the page. So let's just do that by grabbing out this information that we need. We need the slug. So we're going to do child markdown or mark, front matter, and then we're going to look for a slug. We're going to grab out the images, and we're going to find the offer or call to action. It doesn't look like we're using anything else here. The slug itself, this fields thing, is something that changed in Gatsby v2, or if it hasn't changed, it's not working for me anymore. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to get the name, and the name ends up being not what I want at all. But that's okay, because I'm pretty sure in my particular blog, I've set all of these up. I don't think there are any that don't have a slug. Let's just roll and see if that's actually a problem. So let me take this posts. We're going to append this to our GraphQL query up here at the top. And so we've got pages. I'm going to drop this in after pages. Okay, so we're good there. And what this should give me is all of my posts. So let's get the posts. Will be result data posts edges. Okay, and then underneath here, where we've created our pages, we can now do the same thing for our posts. So let's do a posts. I'm I don't think we need to, or I guess we can skip for if anything's a draft. Let me see if I have any draft posts in here to filter for. Let's see. No, they're not drafts. Let's not worry about that for now, because I don't think that it really matters. So instead, maybe I'll deal with that later on if I hit the need for it. So we're going to do node, and then we're going to rename node to post so that it's a little more obvious what we're doing. We're going to create a page, and that page that we're going to create is going to use the path of the, let's pull out the slug, just jumping back down here so I remember what I'm doing. We need to get the post path. Let me uncomment all this stuff and just pull it up. And then we'll just delete what we need as we need to. So coming back up here, we've got the pages, we've got the posts. Let's put this up here. So none of this actually works right now, but what I can do is I'm going to do a check for the front matter. So I'm going to grab this image, but instead of, or that's not what I wanted. I wanted the post path. So let's get this one. Put these up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a check because I want to catch this and just fix it instead of I'm just going to fix it instead of like doing this fallback. So if there is no node.frontmatter.slug, I want it to throw an error, and I'm just going to fix that error because I want my posts to have all posts require a slug field in the front matter. Because fallbacks like this, that's just going to confuse me later. So why not just make this easy, right? Then we want to pull out the front image. So the path that we're using, if we look at the path, is the post path, which is just this slug. So I'm going to, let's just jump right to it. We don't need to do that. So we're going to put this in here, delete this one. That comment doesn't really make sense anymore, so we're going to delete that. If an image was supplied, grab it, and that was used how? As an image, regex. So we set, just checking real quick here, we did templates.post is our blog post template, so let's go back down here. We're going to use the components templates.post. All right, just double check that one more time. Make sure that I'm not getting it wrong. Templates.post, that's what we want. Yeah. So templates.post, and then the image regex is going to be that image regex. So why don't we just go ahead and grab out the offer here. Okay. So we've got the offer. We've got an image. Let's set all of this to be here. And now the problem is that we're still using this this wrong thing. So actually, maybe we should just pull this out. Okay, and so now I can do this, and I can do this. Okay, so what we should get out the end of this is a, do I have something wrong? I got something wrong. Unexpected token from my old code. So let's delete this code so that we've got fewer and fewer things to try to figure out now what's going on. Group post by unique. I got problems all over the place. Okay. So let's go back up here. I'm going to start deleting things that we're not using. We're not using any of this GraphQL stuff anymore. So I'm going to kill that. gone. I'm going to have to look at this in a minute. Don't need that, so I can kill that. Let's see, post by category, object entries, pagination. Yeah, we're going to have to look at all this. So let's just ignore that for now. Let's go back up here. I'm going to comment these out while we wait, because we're holding off for a minute to get to the pagination. So let's comment that out. Let's save. And what are my problems now? Template is assigned a value but never used. Yeah, because we're not calling that yet. What else? Post path is not defined. And that's because I copy pasted a bunch of crap that pages. Yep, because that's stuff that I copy pasted up and didn't delete. Let's see. Then we've got the post, and we're doing a post, not node. Post. What else we got down here? What other dumb things have I done? Let's see. Post. Okay. And now it wants me to use object destructuring. It should just fix that for me, right? No, of course not. Really? Do I care about that? Sure, whatever. Let's make ESLint happy. Cool? Cool. Yeah, whatever. So with this being said, what I should now be able to do, let's give it a shot, is fire this up, and I should get blog posts. Are my blog posts they're not gonna do anything because my query's missing, so it should tell me the data is missing, right? Or where's let's take a look. Okay, so cannot read property slug of undefined in post.forEach. That's on Gatsby node 168. So let's jump down to 168 and see what I did in Gatsby node. 168, post.frontmatter.slug, because it's under child markdown remark. So let's just add that in. So all the post.frontmatter stuff. So let's take frontmatter, do a quick find on each of these. Any others? All good? Child markdown remark. And now we should be able to run this. I think it's still going to explode because our actual post template doesn't have a query in it, but we might get just empty pages that are throwing console errors, like browser errors, and that would be okay, because that means, that should mean that now we've got, let's go to localhost and we'll do find the Y. Okay, so the page exists. So if we go to like a 404 page, what we'll see is that we've got a bunch of blog posts now. 95 pages. These are all the different blog posts. But when you go to the blog posts, we're getting errors because we don't have actual pages, right? There is no data. So let's go back into the props. We're going to look at this one here. And we're going to look at the blog post. And what do we got? We want to write this query to actually get the things we need to display our blog post. So we're going to take this one. We're going to uncomment it, and we're going to pull it into graphical, and we're going to make it work. All right, so there's a lot of pieces in here, so probably this one's going to be kind of a pain. So let's go here, starting with the blog post itself. So we're not going to get fields, so we're just going to ignore that one entirely. And we're not going to get it as markdown remark. Instead, we're going to get it as file. And we have a slug. Ooh, but the slug isn't going to match the folder name. And this poses an issue. So how do I want to fix that? Probably what I would want to do is, let me jump back here. Let's see. Clean this up a bit. Let's clean there. We've got those, so we know those are going to get used. But I want to get files. And I want that file to be, what's the right move here? So I can get it probably by its relative path. In order to do that, I need to put the relative path into the context. So if I go back to Gatsby node and I edit this one, I can put the relative path here. And in the relative path, I can then just insert that directly into this page, right? So relative path, and that'll be post.relative path. So now here, I'm going to get that relative path. And so let me go back in my history a bit, and we're going to get this one. And the relative path will come out like this. Let's run it. All right. So what I'm going to end up getting is something like this for each one of these. So then if I come back out here and I say I want the file with the relative path of this, and I say, you know, let's get the, I don't know, we'll get the child markdown remark, front matter, title. What that should give me, I broke it. Relative, oh yeah, because it needs to be an object. So that's going to be equals, and then that will be there. Prettify that. There we go. So this gives us the actual post. So if I swap that out for the query variable, which is what I'm expecting it to be, and drop that in there, then I can do this, turn it into a query, call it relative path, which is what Gatsby's going to drop in there. That's going to be a string. And then turn that into this. We should still get same result. Okay, that's good. So we can move back here. We put that relative path in. So now we want to get the things that we need. What are we going to need? We need all of this except the fields slug. And I think a lot of that's going to end up coming out of here. That one doesn't. That comes from up here. So the internal content digest, that's just a unique identifier specifically for the file. And that's probably going to get used in a React key because that seems to be the way that I solved this problem last time. Let's see. Content digest. Oh, I said it as the post ID. I don't know. I don't know why I did any of this. Moving on, we've got the child markdown remark. Inside of that, we're going to get the post content as HTML. We're going to get the front matter to get the title, description, the categories, the tags, and then some stuff that we're going to use specifically for SEO. So if I set a custom title for it to use as SEO, call to action, the images that are used in the posts, all that good stuff. If I run this, then I get all of that data. So there's the content, and down below we get the title, description, and an SEO title, which I don't know why the hell I wrote any of, whatever. Don't judge me, it was a long time ago. And so we got our categories, tags, good stuff. All right, so this is good. We now have a path or a query that should get us part of the way there. So we can come in here and we can say post data and replace this. Okay. Next, we need to get the offer. And the offer, remember we pass in the offer as context. And so that's going to come in. What are you doing? Here, offer. And this is going to be something that will default to default. So let's add one of these. It's going to be a string. And we then want to, let's see, right, just to make that consistent, this one, post data. And we're going to grab out our offer now. So the offer, we need, again, to get a file. And this time we want to get the relative path. And let's do a EQ. No, we're going to do, what's the right way to do this? This is a good little puzzle. Offer. Regex is just the offer. Did I do something special here? Offer. Oh, I put it in like a whole thing. Like, oh, okay. So what this is actually giving me is offers and then like that. So now it's a regular expression. And so that should actually work, I think. All right, let's find out. I guess we'll put in the relative path, make sure it's the right thing. Does that work? It does. So then out of the offer, we need this. And because we pulled it in from a file, it's now under child markdown remark. Put that in, prettify everything, and let's run it. So we got that. And now we've got everything that we need. So let's grab this one out. And let's drop it into our offer. Okay. And finally, we want to get out the image. Not finally, we need, several more things. So we're going to pull out the first image. And if you remember, when we were over here, we grabbed the first image out of the array and we dropped that in as a regular expression. So what we should be able to do is take the first image out of this post data. So let's go down here. We've got the images. And so what I should be able to do is take this. We're going to do an image regex. And there's no way that just works. And yet that's what, I don't know, let's give it a shot. So we have an image regular expression, and that is going to be just for the sizes, which is actually fluid now, and the source. So let's take this and drop it. Well, actually, we can take the whole thing, right? So we'll take that, drop it in. Let's collapse these. Take this back. Okay. And the image regex that we have here, we just need to define it down here. That's also a string. So let's run it. I have an error. And the error is cannot read property ID of undefined. Because we don't get images by ID anymore. Because we, like with Markdown, we need to do it by the file. That's, okay, great. So that's fine. We're going to do it by file. We're going to do it by relative path. And I think we can just do exactly the same thing. So we're just going to do a regular expression. And, nope, that's not it. Like that. And then we do child image sharp. And inside of child image sharp, we've got our sizes. And we're going to actually use fluid, right? Been renamed to fluid. So let's just let that rip. How'd it go? We got it. So, very exciting. We can take this out and we can drop this into our query. All right. Next one, I need an author bio. So, or a bio photo, I mean. This one is going to be same deal. But what we're doing is with this one, so we got to get a file. We need to get relative path. We need to add child image sharp. And I think that ought to just work. That's not going to work in here because unfortunately fragments for the Gatsby image sharp stuff don't work in graphical, but what we can do instead is we can just get the source. So let's pull that out. Author, nothing, no error though. And it's because I have not moved this into where I need it. I think it's still in the source folder. So this one, yep, that one's not where I want it to be. So let's close the components, close these plugins. We will close up the pages and posts, and we're going to move this into images. Okay, so now, is that going to work without a reload? It sure is. So now we've got this, right? So I can take this author query, move it over. We're going to drop this in, and the traced SVG stuff will actually work inside of Gatsby, obviously, or of course, I mean, maybe not obviously, but it will, trust me. Do the same thing for the thumbnail. The thumbnail is the exact same thing as the regular file, but I can make that better. That should definitely be better. So let's do like SEO, and then let's take exactly the same thing and let's call it thumb. And we'll add in these same details here. So we've got the max width of 690. And let's just run that and make sure it works the way I expect. So we've got the SEO image. This is like the actual post image. And then we've got a thumbnail, and that is the same thing, but it's at a different size. And that is good. We can pull out the traced SVG stuff. I feel like I should make that a variable or something. I guess it's not a big deal. There we get that, and we need the Gatsby traced SVG stuff, but that's okay. So we'll pull this out. We'll drop this back in with the images. And we will put in the traced SVG goodies. Okay. And what else is in here? Is that it? No, we still need the popover images. So we can drop this one because we just replaced it. So we just simplified. We were already requesting that file up here. So there's no need to request it twice. We can just make aliased subqueries here and get out what we need. Then we need popover images. So let's get the popover images. Those are here. And we'll drop these down on the side, right? Okay. And for this one, we're kind of in the same boat as, let's see. We already wrote this query, I believe. So let's go look at the pages. Not here. Pages down here. This one, I'm pretty sure loads. No? Where do I do this? I do this somewhere. Popover images. We've got these. And so what I should be able to do is this one pulled out the ID and then sizes at 660 with the traced SVG. So this does everything that I want. but it drops out this. So I can grab this, let's prettify it, and if I take that out and replace it with the source, it should now run. That one needs to be fluid. And this gives me all of my images, yeah. So let's do that, and then that actually reminds me that we need to have this fluid. Here though, we don't. We have sizes despite fluid, right? So we're gonna change that over to fluid. Here we need the same thing. Fluid and fluid. And up here, we already changed fluid there, but we forgot to change it here, which would give us an error. So we're catching things early, which is good. And we should be able to drop this in. And we can drop this one out. Okay. Now, with all of that being said, this is a query that should work. We just ran it, all these different pieces. When we run them together, we get everything that we expected to get and no errors show up. So what we do need to change though is the usage. So when we get up in here and start looking at the prop types, the prop types are going to change a little bit. So we've got our post data, and then things start to change a little bit. So we have the post data, and then underneath the post data, we have an offer, and then we have an image instead of like the image and the thumb. So we're going to do an image and drop the thumb, and this should start giving us all the errors that we want to see. Which then we can get the post data, internal content digest, that's all correct. Or wait, is that right? Post data gives us a query. How did I manage to pull that off? That is confusing as hell. Let's do it less confusingly. Let's take the relative path. Let's put it up here. Let's take the post data and let's put it here. And let's take, no, that's wrong. What did I miss? Okay, I broke something. Something's goofy in here. Let's see. So let's do this instead of trying to get everything right on the first try. We can take the posts. I'm going to comment out the prop types altogether for a minute so that things don't blow up for me. The title, yeah, we want that. The post data comes out of this dot props, and I'm going to, let's comment out the SEO. Let's comment out the with popover, and let's comment out most of really everything else. Let's get just to the title. So I've got a layout, good deal. I'm going to comment these out. And I want to get to the point where I'm just showing the title. And so I'm going to leave that out. Hopefully that doesn't explode. And let's do this. We're going to take the post data, and then we're going to do child markdown remark. And if let's kill this and try again. Okay, so we got a problem. Let's figure out what happened. It is my... Okay, we got all sorts of problems. I've got a GraphQL syntax error, which means let's just take the whole query and let's pull it out. Let's drop it in here and let the... Like, is that the whole... Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Does that work? No, that's broken. Whoa. Okay, so something's broken, but I don't know what it is. This is here. That's not it. Okay, so I've got a query. That query goes to here. And I've got file. And that file goes to internal. And then this one. And then I've got one too many. How's that? Better? Yeah, that looks better. So let's try that again. Ugh, gross. Okay, so what I wanted to do was not replace my entire file. I wanted to do this. Okay, it auto-formatted. That's a good sign. And let's see if anything happened. Let's go here. Let's try that again. Let's see what the errors are that it runs. And it did have some errors. Fragments. Okay, so we're still getting errors. Post data of undefined. So let's go up here. Let's figure out what went wrong. We got an issue. And that issue is... variable slug is never used. Is that the whole error? Like, really? Okay, so that's more promising. And that's because I spelled things wrong, which is a good problem to have. Let's try this again. Hey, all right. So then we're going to look in here and see what I can pull out. So let's do thumbnail is no longer... How did I define this? The thumb was just the thumbnail. So what I'm going to do instead, because the original thumbnail would have been the edges and everything. So I'm going to do image.thumb. And that will match up to image.thumb, which should then give us the fluid, but I'm going to need to check on post meta to see what I'm trying to do here. So post meta gets the thumb.sizes. So let's do thumb.fluid, and we'll use fluid. What else you got in here? That's every use. Let's fix the prop types, and then we'll fix this. And that's going to break, I think, because I didn't fix everything else yet. So let's start with, actually, let's just start with the post meta and see if that showed up. Child markdown remark is why that didn't work. How's that? Okay, so that's better, but we're missing things. That should have a key. And the reason it's saying that is because I'm returning an array, and the key is typically up here. But since we're not using that yet, so let's do this one. Let's uncomment this. And we've got a post ID. Okay, and so the image is going to be image dot SEO. So I'm just going to make this. This is gross. We need the optional chaining. And let's see if I put a key on this one. I'm just going to manually key it so that we get what we want. We're missing an image. The image that we're missing should in fact be there, but I didn't rename it to fluid. So now we get what we wanted, but let's see. We got our default, we got our router, we got our location. Oh, we're going deep. Let's just target. Get in here. And then I want to see what happened with this SEO. Post image got passed through. The post data got passed through. But it didn't pass through all the stuff that we needed because it would be looking for not child markdown remark. So let's just take a look at what it's expecting. This is not it, so we're going to skip that. Here's the SEO. It takes the post data, and it looks for the front matter, the excerpt. So let's do this. We're going to do child markdown remark. Okay. And do I touch anything else from here? Let's see, that's going to come out of the post meta. That's fine. Where else do we touch the post data? That's going to be child markdown remark. Okay. And if I do that, then we should get, that should have worked the way that I wanted it to. Let's see what didn't happen. Yeah, we're dropping in helmet. So let's take a look at this again. Post data's there. That's all there. Is anything going wrong? Nothing goes wrong. So let's do a Let's see, post meta, yeah, that's all where we want it. So let's figure out what the title is. So maybe it's just being, I don't know why that's not showing up. Maybe because the data is definitely there. It's probably just something I need to figure out later. Let's see. So then we've got the post front matter, so we can do a post data dot child markdown remark and uncomment that, and let's run that as well. It's because I, for some reason, doubling up on this. Should probably fix that. Probably won't do it today. Let's take a look at this. Content with footnotes. We get the post data child markdown remark .html. And now we get that. That's good. That's what we wanted. Let's take a look down here. Am I like missing? Why isn't my post meta showing up? The post meta is here. And so let's open that. We've got post meta. All of that should be rendering. So what's missing? Let's pull the console log out. And we are returning this, but for some reason, why are you even doing this? Problems, trailing semicolon. Like here? That doesn't seem right. Yeah, no idea what's going on with that. Let's maybe see if we can make it go away. Nope, whatever. So, we have style issues that I want to deal with later. Not going to worry about that now. Blog post, we've got all sorts of weirdness, but we're going to dig back into that right now. Still don't know why this isn't showing up though. Child markdown remark should be showing everything, and for some reason it's not. Like, is this not showing up at all? That's the wrong button. This is the right button. Let's take a look here. We've got SEO. Then we get into the main. Here's the post meta. We've got this aside. And that is completely hidden. That must be a styling issue, because it's definitely showing up, but it's showing up wrong. Yeah, I need to make the conversion over here. Okay, so now we've got, that's rendering, so we'll just kind of leave that for another time. Let's get the CTA in. And this one's going to be offer, child markdown remark, and we need that for the HTML as well. Let's pull that in, and we get, excuse me, we get our call to action. So that all came in, it did what we wanted it to, but the thing doesn't work. And then let's also get the author photo in. So we've got the author, so the floating head should go here. It takes the thumb, and that's going to be fluid instead of sizes. So we can do that. And then this is going to be author child image sharp. should give us, oops, that should give us our floating head, but that's got similar styling issues to the other aside. I think it's got like, it must be hidden or something. So we've got, yeah, the image is loading. It's got data in it. I don't know. It looks like it's working. I am missing the text for that. So maybe let's jump in here and figure out what the text is. Config author mini bio. Oh, because we're pulling in the config from there. So let's take a second and let's move this config, because I don't want that to live where it currently lives. I want the config to live in gatsby-config, because I already have a config file. I don't need additional config files is really the idea here. So up here, I can add a site metadata. Some history on this is that I didn't know how this worked when I originally built this site, because I built this site as a way of learning Gatsby. So if we look at like Gatsby site metadata, you can just kind of see there's a general config, like this is just whitelisted. So you can set that and that will put it into your site. So I want, let's do it. Where's the config file? I moved it. I lost it. Here it is. Config. So I'm going to move some stuff. I want the categories to be in here. So I'm going to put those in here. And I want the author info to be in here. I could also probably put my photo in there and just avoid some extra hassle, but let's maybe not worry about that for now. Let's see, the API, confirmation pages, all of that. Does that get pulled out of the SEO component right now? Let's see. Yeah, so it's pulling all sorts of stuff in from there. So I'm going to have to reconfigure this pretty heavily later on. But for now, let's have this work with the mini bio. So we're going to do something fun here. We're going to use a static query to get at what I need. So let's do that by, you know what? Let's actually get rid of this. So we need a query, right? And then we need a render, and that render gets data, which, does that need to be wrapped like this? I think it does. I actually can't remember, so let's console log what comes out first, and then, come on, buddy, we're going to return our component. And so the way this works is that we're going to run a query. That query imports from Gatsby. So we're going to use GraphQL. We need to import that from Gatsby to use it. And what it'll give us the ability to do here is just kind of run any arbitrary query as long as it doesn't need context. So we can't use GraphQL variables. But fortunately for the author stuff, we don't use any of that. So if I'm looking down here, I am doing a query for my author image, and we're hard coding that anyways. So I can actually pull this out. So let's take it, put it in here. I'm going to drop that there. And then I also am going to do a site query. So let me restart now that I've changed some config and I saved this. So let's just, let's do this again. Yarn develop. And then let's run over to graphical once this boots. and I changed queries, so of course it's going to run. It's going to run everything all again, so that's okay. We got it. We got it. So let's jump in here. And now what we can do is I can take this this static query that I want to run, and let's get just the query. Okay. Drop that in, and if I take this out and just do the source, you can see I get the query. But what I also want to do is I want to get data from the site. So I can do, whoops. So I'm going to do the site, and then I'm going to get the author. Wait, where is this? Site. Come on. Did this? Oh, I didn't reload. So I go to the site, I get site metadata, and under the site metadata, I get the author and my mini bio. And so now I actually have all this stuff that's like ready to rock. So in here, I can take this data and I can drop it into here. And what I'll be able to do now is, let's see, let's comment this out for now. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm actually just going to output the value. This is something that I do to help me understand what's in my data. And I do this pretty often. It's probably going to make like hardcore JS devs cringe, but honestly, there's no reason in my mind to do some kind of complicated workaround when you can just spit shit out on the screen and look at it. So let's reload. And what this should have done, let's see. It didn't work because this, am I adding extra styles to it or something? Let's see. Let's just get rid of that for now. And what it should do instead is, what are you doing? Unexpected token, which means I did something wrong. My unexpected token is, got my GraphQL. That's all good. Oh, I know what I did. This has got to be encapsulated. And then I need to close this tag. So that's what I did wrong. That should improve things significantly. And we end up with the static data, right? So this is super cool because what this means is now instead of having to do things through the blog post, I can drop this whole section out. I can kill this whole piece of the query and I don't need to access it at all anymore. So I can take it out of here and then I can go down and I can look for where we used it, which was only in this section, and I can drop that entirely, which is great. And so that means, oh, that was super helpful that it deleted that whole thing for me. That means that this is now not taking a thumbnail anymore. And because it's not taking a thumbnail, that means that we can delete all of this. And now we've got the ability to just drop in whatever we want. That's pretty awesome. So we're pulling in, let's see, we don't need the config anymore. Extra power. So let's refactor this to actually use the data that we just identified. Here we've got what we're returning, and we are returning all of this now. So the class name that we're bringing in, cool. The styles.wrapper, cool. we want the actual image that we queried instead, which is here now. So that's going to be author dot child image sharp, I think. Author dot child image sharp dot fluid. Okay. And up here, we've got, instead of pulling it out of the config, we're just pulling it out of the data. And this one up here also needs to come out of the data. Okay. And so what should happen is if I drop out this, we should see down here that did it actually break? It did actually break, but why did it break? So it pulls out my author child image sharp. Oh, and then I'm getting the wrong stuff. So data, site metadata. And it's still eating my whole thing. So why is it eating that? So I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to drop the styles out just to see if that helps us. There we go. Hey, now I have my, there's my headshot. This came out of the StaticQuery, and I have the, let's see, got this bio. And the nice thing about this is now, if I go in to my config, in my Gatsby config, and I make a change, because I'm not at IBM anymore, right? So I make that change and it instantly shows up. Yeah, that all seems good, right? So let's I don't live in Austin either. God, my site is so out of date. And we'll be able to see this one happen. Watch. I'm going to save it, and this is going to change like almost instantly. Oh, it's so amazing. Cool. So that's exciting. Let's take the console log out, and still got to figure out what the hell's going on with styles. But for now, let's just let that roll. Cool. So we've got blog posts, right? Now, if I go in, we'll just look at the 404 page so we can see a list. All of these posts. And if I click into one, I've got the post. It shows the title. In this case, it's showing like an SEO title. So like this is different than this because that's how I wrote the post, right? So the styles look janky as all hell, but that's okay. What we can't do yet is see the blog, right? The blog doesn't work. So we need to actually build that blog page and get that set up. So this is where we get back into, or wait, hold on. You know what? Let's fix this this popover thing too, because I want that back so that that works the way that I expect it to. We're going to put this in, and we can drop out the layout. And so we're going to do the post data. We already fixed that one. And what else are we missing here? So all of these, we're going to do child markdown, remark. And for the popover images, if I remember correctly, those are going to be, okay, so I'm going to have to fix the way that that's handled. So let's go look at with popover. And so this currently accepts the popover images. So it takes an image array, and if I jump up to the definition, it goes into the images, does a find for the node, a node name match of the group, and then returns the node. And then that node that gets returned gets dropped into the popover. And the popover, let's see if it's if I fixed this already. I think I did. So the image gets displayed, image child, image sharp, fluid. Okay, good deal. So actually this, I think, should just work. So we pull out the popover images, edges node, and then we have the name. So this, yeah, this should just work. So let's take a look. Popover images.edges. Let's try it. I broke it. Unexpected token online 89. And that is because why? What did I do? That? Yes. All right. Stray comma. So let's jump in here. Let's look back down at the bottom. Let's click one of these buttons and I get a popover. All right. So that is now actually working the way that we want it. Let's close out that. We're going to do a future podcast on these styles because they're clearly a mess right now. So the next thing that we want to do is we've done a good job here so far of setting up these pages. So to just kind of recap what's happening in here, we've got a bunch of stuff that is commented out. So let me do some cleaning. I'm temporarily cutting this stuff so that I can just only look at things that actually are happening. So this is a blog. So if you go to page 1 on the blog, we want to just redirect you to the main blog. So let's just ignore that for now. What we have is when we create our pages, we have redirects for some pages that I don't have anymore. And then we have templates for our different things. So the page we did in a previous podcast or a previous stream that you can go look at. And the blog post is what we just did. So the next thing is we need to look at blog previews. These are the actual roles of like 10 posts per page with pagination and all that good stuff. So we're doing a request now to get all the pages, to get all the posts, and then we end up with those in our, these end up in variables. For the pages, we filter through and we make sure that we only generate the ones that we want to generate. And for each page, we create a page. That one is pretty straightforward. Wonderful. Then we go through each post, and in each post, we generate a post. And this is a slightly more in-depth because we need to get out like the slug out of the front matter because the posts. So like with a page, I'm cool with just naming pages by their file name, right? So like the contact or disclaimer or whatever. With posts though, I want to be able to keep the images in a folder with the post instead of having a bunch of stuff kind of all over the place. And I want to be able to name the folders in a way that I can like remember what order they go in, or like, you know, this is the first post that I ever wrote for this blog. And this is the most recent. And I don't want to name them by dates because then that means that like the date goes off the edge of the screen and I can't see what the hell's going on. And also pretty much every time I write a blog post, I start writing it and then I end up publishing it like days or weeks or even months later, which means that I have literally no idea, like this date would be inaccurate. So I end up having to change it, which is a pain in my ass. So I want to use this slug, which is here. I want to use this as the path for it. So if I take that and I drop this in, find the Y, that's going to take me to that post instead of having to do like 82 dash whatever. But that means that we've got to do some special stuff. We got to pull this slug out. We have to find an image for it because all the blog images, if we look at my actual live site, let's take a look at this. All of these posts, I mean, they don't need an image at all, do they? Oh, but this is for SEO. I'm confusing myself. These are for single blog posts. So we pull out the slug to create the page. We pull out an image so that we can feed it like what the main image is for the blog. And looking at this, that's here. And I do this because in some of the SEO stuff like open graph tags, you can specify multiple images and they'll give you on like Facebook or whatever, you get a selection. You can pick like any of the available images. So typically I only put one in, but in some posts I have like 3 or 4. And that way, if somebody shares the post, they can put in, they can choose the image they want to highlight in their share. Then we specify the offer, and then we create that page. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to actually paginate things. And I don't know why my collapsing doesn't work anymore. It's kind of frustrating. I wish that that VS Code would let me continue to do that because it'd be nice to be able to just like crunch all this down. Let's see if, so I want to put this back in. We talked about this at the beginning of this stream, so I'm not going to go too deep into all of it, but we're using template to build our, the like URL template. So /blog /category name /page number. We are pulling in the config, which I'm going to get rid of because I don't want to use that. Then we have a helper function that gives us unique values for a field. So it's going to go through the category or the tag or whatever field I specify in the front matter and find unique values. So it'll build me a list of like all the categories available include, happiness and with the other ones. And then for tags, it'll do the same thing. Like it'll find each of these tags and put them into a list so that I've got this list of only what is actually here. And I'm wondering maybe what I should do is just put these into a set because a set won't allow duplicate values and it allows me to do cool JavaScript things. Maybe we'll refactor that another day. Let's keep rolling here. So we've got group posts by unique. So what I do is I take the whole array of posts and then we get unique values for a given field. So this is going to be like group by unique category, group by unique tag, something like that. And so we get all the unique possible values and then we go through those and just separate the posts into each value. Then here, we're going to paginate our posts. And the way that this happens is we look for a post per page value. That post per page value is giving us 5 posts or 10 posts or whatever. I think for me it's 10. And then we want to filter to make sure that we get actual posts, so no empty values. And once we have those, we are dropping the posts in. So we put in the post group, we put in what type of post it is and what page we're on, how many pages there are, whether or not we're on the first page or the last page, and then the link base, which would be like the path with a page number. So that is kind of how we do the pagination. And then let's take a look here. What's this one? Markdown remark. What is this? Create node field. Do I actually use any of this? I don't think I do. I definitely don't. Cool. I think I get to delete this altogether. Whatever. I have Git. I can go back in time and find it if I need it. Let's see. I love deleting code. It's great. And okay, so now we've got all these functions available, right? All this stuff is available for us to use. So I can do all of this. We have the ability to group stuff. We have the ability to paginate stuff. So what we want to do then is actually like do this. So let's collapse down the stuff we're not using and let's take a look at the stuff that we are going to use. So creating a page is done by Gatsby and we're just pulling that out of the actions. So the create pages API hook in the Gatsby lifecycle gives us access to a GraphQL function, which we're using to get our data, and it gives us some actions. We're using the create page action. We also use the create redirect action. And for pagination, we're going to need to be able to create a page, so we drop that in. The component we're going to use is the previews, because remember, we specified our templates up here, and this is the component that we want to use, the previews blog template. And we'll look into that in a minute. Let's see. So now we've got all posts are going to be here. We're going to look through the posts, and let's just do some sleuthing here and make sure that the stuff that we think is going to happen is actually what's going to happen. So we get edges, we get a child markdown remark, so we're going to have to change the way that we filter. So we need to do a node child markdown remark, and what this allows me to do here is I can set a post to like not be live. Like if I had a post that I wanted to keep in the history, or like I didn't want to delete it from the site, but I wanted to like stop publishing it, I could just turn it to publish false, and then it won't show up, right? I don't know why I did that. Maybe I just didn't want to have to remember what branch it was in or something if I had a post I didn't want to keep. So then, now that we've got all of our posts, we can group them. So we have our post by category and our post by tag. So again, it's just diving into the posts and getting the unique values. So let's make sure, yep, we need to change this. So it's going to be child markdown remark dot front matter. And that gives us now, should, we'll see, child markdown remark. Okay, and let's maybe before we go any further on this, let's actually just run this and log what comes out. So do a console.log, and we're going to log posts by category. And let's see what comes out. So this is actually going to log in the terminal because this is part of the build process. So let's do it, and it should spit out a big old object. Or it'll break. What did I do? Cannot read property filter of undefined on Gatsby node line 9. Line 9. So I did something wrong. Okay. I'm not sure. Let's see. What is this? Post, child markdown remark, front matter field. So we get into the post, right? And then that gives us post, child markdown remark, front matter. So what is breaking? It's breaking on get unique, group post by unique. That's on line 181. 181 is where it should be called, right? So maybe let's look at what's happening in all posts first. So this should spit out a big old object. Okay. Relative path, child markdown remark. I mean, that all seems correct to me, right? So what's missing? So when we drop the all posts in, it's node, child markdown remark. So let's just dump the first one. Maybe what we should do is dump. So this all seems correct. So maybe what we should do is doing that, trying to reduce. We got the posts, and we are grabbing things out. So let's do here, and let's do posts. No, yeah, let's just do that. And let's see if it is. Let's see if it's breaking on something before or after get unique. Or it said it broke on get unique, didn't it? Let's try that again. Okay, so now it didn't do anything because I didn't actually call that function. Oh, buddy. All right, let's see. I'll comment this. Let's let that rip. Okay, so it broke, but did it log anything? Nope. So it didn't filter. Which means it all right, where does it break? We're going to do post.reduce. So let's take this and let's console log here. Let's log the post and let's log uniques. Let's try that again, and we're going to see if it's like, is it getting through part of them and one of them is just formatted incorrectly, or is it literally the first one breaks? Okay, so it does the first thing. It has an empty array for uniques. The first post has child markdown remark. It's like, I didn't typo this. Then it has front matter, and then it has no categories because I didn't query for the fucking categories. Okay, so at least it's an easy fix, right? So let's query for the category. Let's query for the tags. And I do those singularly because I don't remember why. Probably because at one point in time they were singular. So let's run that again and see if, well, let's maybe not log every single post. Okay. That looks promising. Oh, because it did this thing, I think. Create pages field category. So let's drop that out because I don't think we need that. And let's go down here. And so now we've got our post. We're grouping our posts. I don't want to log all of those. So this is good. We're getting there. Then the cat data, where the hell did that come from? Object entries, posts by category. Right. So I'm breaking apart my posts. Okay. So we take the posts. And we've got, let's see here. We've got our template. We've got our pagination defaults. We've got the value. We're pulling all of that out. So then let's just go and look at paginate real quick. And I'm just going to do, I'm going to hard code this because I want to get it. Oops, I don't need that to be here. And the posts themselves are getting done like this. Don't need any of that stuff to come out right now. So let's just try that one more time. And if nothing weird happens, what we should see is that we'll get category pages. And this is going to have to be the last thing that I do because I got to take off here in like 5 minutes. So hopefully this is going to be a successful run. Let's find out. Okay, so we didn't get an error. That's a good sign. Let's take a look at like blog category happiness. And it failed. But it failed for a good reason, I think, because I think it failed. Yeah, all right, this is great. So we didn't get to the actual blog post. Like we need to rewrite this to actually use the things that come through. However, we're in better shape than I was maybe originally expecting here because that did run. It's given us what we need. We just got to grab out the data for our post groups, and once we do that, we'll actually get things on the page. So that's kind of it's not my favorite place to stop. I would have loved to get the actual pages rendering, but it is giving us, like, it shows kind of the general setup here. We get the categories are being generated. Pagination is there. It gives us what we want. So we're going to call it there for now. The next time that we do a stream, I will finish this out and we'll get some pages in place, get this all set up so that we can actually be looking at things. So that is all we're going to do today. So thank you very much for everybody who's watching, and stay tuned. We'll do the next stream early next week, probably on Monday or Tuesday. So stay tuned, watch the Twitter feed, or pay attention to your Twitch notifications for when this goes live. Thank you very much for watching.